We like to think we buy with logic, but it's emotion that makes the sale. And in this video, I will go through the 7 most powerful emotional triggers in marketing. Think back to your last impulse buy. Did you really need that? Or did it just feel right? Understanding emotional triggers isn't optional in marketing, it's essential. And every brand, every business, every online store, every service business needs to understand the principles of marketing. Because if you're not speaking to emotion, you are not speaking to buying behavior. You need to know what drives the needle. As I've previously mentioned, emotion is what drives the decision. Logic justifies the decision afterwards. People buy with their heart, and then they go and justify it with their head to defend themselves from what they've just done. They say, I deserve this, it's a good deal, it saves me time, it just feels right. The best marketers lead with feeling and close with facts. So unless you can afford to outsource to a professional marketer who knows all of this stuff, you're going to need to know it all yourself. Now let's break down the 7 strongest emotional levers that drive sales. The first one is desire, the pull towards status, desire, beauty, comfort. You'll hear messaging like, look how good your life could be. You'll feel so confident wearing this. And finally, peace of mind. People don't buy the drill, they buy the hole. And really, they're buying how that hole makes them feel. The second emotional trigger is fear. It's not always doom and gloom, sometimes it's just a gentle bit of urgency. You'll hear messaging like, what are you missing out on? Prices rise next week, and don't get left behind. Fear of missing out, FOMO, is real. And it's one of the fastest ways to drive action ethically. The third emotional trigger is belonging. Humans are tribal. We buy what helps us fit in or stand out in the right circles. You'll hear messaging like, join 10,000 plus satisfied customers, worn by athletes, trusted by pros, and made for people like you. You see, we don't just buy stuff, we buy our place in the world. The fourth emotional trigger is trust. Especially in today's world, trust is currency. You'll hear messaging like, over 2,000 5-star reviews, 30-day money-back guarantee, and no hidden fees ever. The fifth emotional trigger is relief. Buying something that solves a problem, the feeling that people want isn't pride, it's relief. You'll hear messaging like, finally no more back pain. Say goodbye to messy cords, and sleep through the night again. Solve a real pain, and the emotional payoff is instant. The sixth emotional trigger is empowerment. Let people feel like they're taking control. You'll hear messaging like, take back your time, own your mornings, and stop waiting for permission. People don't want your product. They want what it makes them feel capable of doing. The seventh and final emotional trigger is identity. We've talked about this. The deepest buyers are those that say something about who I am. You might hear messaging like, not for everyone, for the bold, or made for the modern minimalist. These kinds of lines, they don't just sell, they resonate. They give people a way to express who they are. Great ads don't just rely on one emotional angle, they stack them for maximum impact. Here's how it works. Hook with desire or fear, build trust and empowerment, and then close with identity or belonging. Here's an example. Tired of creating content that doesn't convert? Join 1,000 plus online creators using our system and finally get your time and income back. See that? Desire, fear, belonging, relief, empowerment, all wrapped up into one message. So to sum up, we're emotional creatures who use logic to defend our decisions. If you're only appealing to logic, you're not going to make the sale. The secret, make them feel first, then let them rationalize it. Emotion drives action, and your words should too.